everybody? I'm Guzman, EG3 Customs, sneaker artist, based out here in Lubbock, Texas. And I'm just here to talk about some of my favorite pieces I've done for myself, and there's a few that I hated to see go. And to kick it off, we're gonna go with probably my most favorite piece is the Movies Jordan 1. It was definitely a leap in designing and just trying to up my game a little bit, you know, doing as much of the shoe as I can. I did the stitching, did the whole tongue, the tongue tag, I did the laces, I dyed the laces the same color as what I used for the shoe. It's definitely was a stepping stone for me. This was my first multi-layer stencil I think I did. This was like 7 colors. So you start with one color and you just start building, man, and it was crazy. I was so nervous to peel back all that vinyl, like those 7 layers of vinyl to make this, and man, it came out pretty good. Of course, nothing's ever perfect, but at the end of the day, I really love this. I love the movies, and that's really what inspired me. All the Kevin Smith movies, man. They always go to the movies restaurant, pick up a cow tipper, you know, Jay and Silent Bob. I love this shoe. That was the first time I did cement print, and the heel, this one was actually the hard part of the cement print, getting on this heel without trying to get too much yellow on this black sock liner. And this one wasn't too bad, it's just pretty straight, but this, getting around this whole curved surface, man, it was a little frustrating for me at first, but I got it laid down, man, and it came out pretty good, if I would say my first time, especially around this heel, and I've done it a couple times. And just that texture, that Bel Air texture stencil, man, all over, just kind of getting a little crazy with it, just laying down stuff, having fun with it. And man, I love this shoe. I really do. This is by far my favorite one I've done for myself. I'm not even supposed to be here today. Yes, sir, man. I love these. These are actually for my girl. She had seen the actual Vans drop. They dropped the Freddies. They could, you know, with Vans, they have an actual legit pair. And she was like, man, I want some of those. And they were actually going for kind of a little bit higher because they had started selling out already. And I was like, man, I'm pretty sure it could I won't be able to do the soles black unless we find them. But I was like, you're probably just better off aging them. And I was like, they might even look better. And so she was like, man, really, you think you could do it? I was like, yeah, let's try it. And I think this was one of my first canvas shoes that I've done. And I just it was really fun, man. I had the glitter vinyl that helps stick and get these patches of his sweater. And I just remember spraying the first one, man. I believe I blocked off the red, so the red wasn't there. So I was spraying the green, and I just remember pulling off this the vinyl, man, and I was like, oh wow, that looks so good. And all I had to do was just fill in the red, and I just filled it in, did the tongues, and I even got a little bit of I got his claw on the tongue tag, because I thought that was pretty cool, and then just kind of splattered it. And man, I just remember they're a small shoe, and I just really love the way they came out. It's a simple design, got some splatter, got his sweater. I aged the soles, and then I just remember feeling so relieved when they were coming together. It was way easier than I thought it was, and I think that's why I liked them so much. This is actually one of the pairs that I was crazy about. It was actually a commission, man, and I hated to see them go. Majin Buu Jordan 1s. And just all around, man, it took me a little bit to design them. I'm not too crazy about Dragon Ball Z. I don't know too much about it. I like the artwork. I really don't know the storyline or anything like that. So I watched a bunch of Majin Buu stuff, and he has like a bunch of different transformations, man. And there's a lot. So I just went with almost like the beginning one with the Fat Buu on this one, and he actually eats Devora, turns him into chocolate, and he eats him. So that's why I kind of had the chocolate swoosh and then him with his mouth open kind of behind it, just to kind of give a sense of that story. This was one of the first times I was working with another artist who makes lace locks, the Dubrays, he hang tags, he 3D prints whatever you need, man. And it was my first time. Shout out to Art. It's Art by Art, man. Shout out to him. And he printed me out. I just told him what I wanted, and he printed me out these eyes for the Dubrays up there on the laces. So man, and that was definitely a cherry on the cake, and yeah, he killed it. And I just really love these shoes, man. The insides of the shoes, I was really testing the waters on this. Was the insides were like his power that he kind of throws out. So I kind of wanted to give that airbrush kind of effect of his power. I wanted to try something different and new. I definitely love the way it came out. Definitely helped me get more control over my airbrush, man. It was definitely a challenge. You know, there was a lot going on in this shoe, and I'm, well, man, super pleased on how it came out. Hated to see them go. First custom, man, my first custom, you gotta love it. Pinkies, I was so hyped to do this. It was my first one. Man, I'm a huge movie fan. Not all movies, I don't like all movies, don't get me wrong, but I'm a huge Friday fan. I had to have been watching it, binging it at the time or something, because I don't know, I had a really hard time figuring out what I was actually gonna do on these for my first pair. I didn't know what to do, just regular, but I wanted to have some kind of stamp or trademark that I liked. It can be overwhelming, even now, to designing shoes, man. Even when I was thinking about the simple design as this is, I was freaking out. I was like, man, what am I gonna do? And I ended up landing on Pinkies, and I was like, man, I could do that little record and, you know, the Pinkies and stuff, and it's just gonna be all pink, and we'll see where it goes. And it didn't go too well, but I still love this shoe, man. I love it to death, and I'll cherish this forever, man. It's definitely this has definitely opened up doors for me right here. This shoe opened up doors that I never would have ever imagined to walk through, man. And it's definitely crazy to look at this now. It hasn't been that long, it's only been a few years, but still it feels almost like yesterday is when I did it. It's crazy. The Lil Wayne portrait, man, God, I was so nervous to do this. I've been dreaming of doing a portrait on a shoe in paint. I had this mock-up for a long time, man, probably close to a year, and man, I just had to carve out the time to really practice it, and because I want to do portraits, man. I really want to get better, especially putting them on shoes. I've done plenty of portraits on paper and with pencil and graphite and charcoal and all that, but with paint, man, it's definitely a different beast, especially to put on a shoe. I really love this, man. And there's not even, these are for me, and they're size 13, I think. Yeah, they're size 13. I just wanted to have a nice portrait on a shoe, and of course I've been holding back my shoes that I want to put a portrait on for that I can actually wear. But since the first time going, this was my first portrait. No, this is actually my second portrait, but actual airbrushing. I airbrushed most of it. I blocked in a lot of it. You know, got his stenciled out, put the key points, the eyes, the nose, the lips, you know, the outline and stuff. And then from there, I kind of started airbrushing, man. I went over it with a paintbrush first, man, and I hated the way it looked. So I was like, let's try a different approach. And I airbrushed probably 80% of it, and then went in with the line work and stuff like that. But I really love this shoe, man. Apocalypto themed Jordan 1s. Huge Apocalypto fan, Mel Gibson film. And of course the client who commissioned me to do them is huge. And I almost had to, I knew we both liked the movie because he was thinking about getting a piece from me. And I just kept talking him in, man, to get the Apocalypto thing. He wanted like a Wednesday, or I think Naruto or Naruto, I'm not familiar how you say it, but he wanted one of those. But I had already done a few of those, and I was like, man, Apocalypto would, come on, man, I'll hook you up, dude. And he was already gonna give me the artistic freedom on the design and everything, so that's why I knew I was gonna love these shoes, man. Before I even started designing them, I knew it was gonna be cool. And I just love how free-flowing it is, man. And nothing had to be perfect. Nothing had to be crisp lines, no logos. The four swooshes, those are probably my favorite parts. The four swooshes on them represent the weapons he used to the heat capture, however you want to say it. So we got the tomahawk, and back there is the beehive that he throws. It's supposed to be the frog that he spikes the darts with, the blow darts with. I airbrushed all the orange skin tone color, I guess you could say, and then everything else was just going in freehand with the brush. Even that, I kind of drew it in a little bit and try to make it look like that arrowhead stone that they use at the end of the tomahawks. And then that was just like the green branch. I guess you can kind of see the little ties that hold the sticks together. Yeah, man, just overall, I really love this shoe. I hated to see it go. I love that movie, by the way. It's a great film. Those are some of my favorite pairs of shoes. I appreciate y'all stopping by. Shout out to the boys at season 3, man. Get me fresh and dripped out, man, and interview me on the spot. Come to the studio and come hang out with me. I appreciate you guys sticking through. Appreciate it. Y'all have a good one. And be safe out there.